Atomic Heart is set to release on February 21st, 2023, and that's just a week away. It's coming out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series S, PS4, and Xbox One. It's also coming to Game Pass, which I think is a huge thing, because it's going to allow people to play this game without paying for that, hefty price tag that games now have. It's developed by Mundfish and published by Focus Entertainment and 4Divinity. Now, I cannot wait for this game. It is absolutely gorgeous and a monster of a game. And the real question is, will the game be able to handle the amount of enemies, the incredible detail, and massive scale without bugs and technical issues hampering it down? With tons of AAA games being delayed or releasing with a lot of glitches, any new game that comes out will have some worry to it. Now, this game has tons of resemblance to Bioshock. It makes you wonder, will this game be a love letter to Bioshock and take us further, or will it trip over itself? Now, Bioshock is such a pivotal game in our Rolodex of gaming, and a lot of games are inspired from it, and it actually took a lot of inspiration from other games like Doom and Wolfenstein. Now, Atomic Heart seems to be taking a lot of things from those games, Bioshock, Doom, and Wolfenstein. The Power Glove, for example, is very reminiscent of Bioshock's plasmids. Add in the first-person, fast-paced element, and that utopian world that is turned on its creators. And there are a lot of lines you can draw, but I'm pretty confident this is going to be a new type of weird and creepy that will make it easier for gamers to separate the two. And that's kind of what people love about Doom, Wolfenstein, and Bioshock. The creepy element, the story, the lore behind it. The ability to walk into a room, read some lore, and find out how someone used to live in this room and just completely went senile, chaotic, crazy. How certain characters are living now that this kind of chaos has happened, or how certain characters might have died in this world. Now, the setting of this game is in fictional USSR in 1955. It takes place in a top-secret military base that manufactures robots. It's called Facility 3826. The mastermind behind it is scientist Dmitry Sekchenov, who launched a neural network of robots. It's basically a 2.0, something where you can command robots with your brain. Well, that new device did not work as expected because the launch was sabotaged and you're spit right in the middle of it. It is now a robot uprising. Robots are killing by the masses, and we are sent by Sekchenov to restore that neural network. Now, before all that sabotaging and craziness happens, there's a utopian world to this, where robots and humans are coexisting, and it's actually kind of beautiful. You see robots dancing in the wild, you see them working amongst humans, they are selling on the street corners. It looks pretty safe, but you later find out through the game that there's actually secret experiments and human testings that have created mutant creatures and killer robots. Honestly, a perfect combo for any first-person shooter. So there's a big mystery to this game that you currently find out throughout the game's storyline. There's a lot of puzzle solving, which I really loved, whether it's hacking or actually using your Power Glove to solve different areas, and of course, tons of horror, whether it's robots ripping off your limbs, your face, or just seeing the crazy undead creatures that are just multiplying and chasing after you. And enemies will do just that, chase after you, and cause you serious damage. And the last thing you want to do in the beginning of this game is get in a fight too early. You really only have your axe and your shotgun with a little bit of ammo. And the axe is a little bit cumbersome to use. You will get used to it, but it's a very slow melee weapon, and there are other melee weapons that you can use. But one of my favorite additions to this game is the Power Glove and the additions that it adds to it. One of them being is the ability to suck items in the game. You're essentially vacuuming tons of stuff with one easy button. So collecting currency, items, stuff to craft, it makes it so easy to loot, so you're not worried about clicking on every single drawer. Now, the Power Glove opens up tons of new abilities. You have Force Slam with telekinetic powers, you have Ice, Fire, tons of things, energy shields, and you're going to want to upgrade this as you move forward and choose what you want to use. There's actually a sidekick that's built into your Power Glove called 𝔸𝔻𝕆ℝ𝔸𝕝 that allows you to scan the area, hack robots, and more. It kind of uses as like a comedic sidekick to you will, if you will, kind of like that Forspoken sidekick that you had in your wristband, or even Destiny's sidekick for that. And a lot of games are starting to use this. Now, let's take a step back from the combat and from the Power Glove and talk about the soundtrack. Mick Gordon, oh my goodness, if you don't know that name, play Doom. He is incredibly famous for all of the games that he creates. Wolfenstein, Prey, a lot of Bethesda games, really. And he is all about adrenaline pumping music. It's like an eargasm track of metal in this game. It just constantly is just pumping and pushing the storyline and the action forward. It makes the moments so epic. You could really feel it in the trailer. So the soundtrack in this game is already going to be an A+. Now the design is eye-popping. You see some fascinating enemy types, creepy robots, heads are splitting open, blades are coming out at you. You have massive boss battles. For example, one of them is this like worm robot, one of them is like a sphere robot that looks like from the Incredibles. It's terrifying. You want to run, you want to look for the closest exit because it's pretty intimidating. The game consists of 5 different main facilities to discover. You can drive, you can take the monorail across this, and you'll explore a lot of homes and areas throughout this game in between those facilities. The game is roughly around 25 hours, probably a little less if you don't do any of the side stuff, maybe a little bit more if you really want to explore stuff. Now, some early skills you get are the ability to see enemies through walls, electrocuting the cameras with your power glove to move undetected. So it's going to be a lot about stealth in the early elements because, again, you only have that axe and that shotgun. Now, there are different types of weapons that you will have. One of them being ammo-based weapons, where you'll have to find ammo around the map, and other being energy weapons, where the more melee you do, the more you're charging up your energy weapons to use them. So you really want to switch off to figure out what's going on. Now, what's really fascinating are the robots are entwined by that neural network. And so if one robot sees you, they'll be able to activate other robots and let them know that you're there, immediately causing a swarm of robots to get you. So you really don't want to be detected. That's where hacking really is going to come in, because you want to hack your way through, try to not get detected. And also, when you take down robots, they can regenerate. So there are robots that go around regenerating enemies, healing enemies. So you really want to be fast in that regard. And it's visceral, unforgiving combat. You see the hits on the enemies. And that's where I'm a little bit worried, because there's so much detail in this game. How is the technicals going to be? Are we going to see frame drops? Are we going to see pop-ins, etc.? Some weapons, you got the grenade launcher, the plasma rifle, so you get tons of cool things, and you could upgrade all of that with an extended mag, a silencer, and more. And you really want to search throughout this entire map to find everything you possibly can. Now, the best way I can describe this game, it's a combination of Bioshock, Doom, and Wolfenstein, a conglomerate of your favorite first-person shooters in one. And the world is stunning. The soundtrack is composed by the legend Mick Gordon, known for Doom. Add in the weapons array and the power glove, and you have everything you need for a perfect game. I'm incredibly excited for this, and I think this game will go down as one of the greatest first-person shooter games next to Bioshock and Doom, as long as, again, the optimization is there. So let us know in the comments if you're really excited for this game. Are you grabbing this? Is this on your radar? Are you going to play it on Game Pass or buy the full game? But I think being available on Game Pass is really going to help it, because that's going to allow more people to play it, and maybe we'll potentially see a sequel or something even more, because this looks like a world I'm going to want to keep exploring.